Welcome into Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern. I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. In this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. He's going to win some baseball picks for you today, and you can't teach that. Bada boom. May of the people in the room. Welcome into a Friday MLB picks edition of Ride the Line. The people don't want the picks. The people need the picks, and we are bringing them the picks today on a lovely Friday.
A lovely Friday. We are heading into the weekend, and we're heading into the weekend strong. Tanner, I got to give my boy some compliments. We were just looking at our records for the show. Tanner's now 25-13. He's hitting about 66% of his bets. That is outrageous. The best bettors in the world will be on their knees to get 60%. This guy's at 66%, so we got to give him his flowers.
Honestly, on days I'm not on here, though, I lose a lot, so I probably wouldn't follow me. So it's definitely not 66%. Would be humble. Be a humble guy right now. Unlike so Tuesdays and Thursdays, not 66%, but it's pretty low. So it balances out a little bit. But anyways, I got my full record here. Actually, let me see my full record for Major League Baseball season right now.
Hey Tanner, by the way, if you're doing good on Ride the Line, that's just the magic, baby. That's just the magic of Ride the Line.
I'm riding every single morning. Okay, full MLB picks record for everything that I've given this year. I am 455 and 324.
That's impressive. That's really good.
I don't know the math, but that's what it is. And you can't teach that. We're welcoming you in to Ride the Line today. This is the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. We're going with the intro again because you know what? It's a great Friday and we're going to win some money. And you need to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the damn WSN YouTube channel, I don't know what you're doing. You're getting TikTok content posted on Shorts now full time as well, which have blown up this week. We talked about Bronny James. Hope he's doing better. What else we talked about? Jaylen Brown, the man that makes the most money in the NBA. They can't dribble to his left. I can dribble to my left better than Jaylen Brown, and he makes a lot more money than I do. And then
not much, though. Not much. You're international.
I am international. I'm all over the freaking world, but I can dribble to my left at least. And then we talked about one other thing. But that was all on the Shorts this week. So subscribe to the channel. You get picks. You get content. Do it.
Yep, do it. Absolutely. And without further ado, let's go ahead, ride on over into these picks. Tanner, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. It's Garrett Cole day. Apparently, Garrett Cole's a pretty good pitcher. I don't know. Apparently, he's good. I'm not a big fan of Garrett Cole. And quite frankly, he looks better in the American League just because the American League Cy Young race is absolute trash. If Shane McClanahan didn't get hurt, he would definitely be the favorite right now. But Garrett Cole, 9-2 with 2.78 ERA and a 1.08 whip. I like the New York Yankees on the money line today. Very fair price, -120 to -125, depending on where you're getting it. Short favorite here for the New York Yankees, and they deserve to be because they're facing Grayson Rodriguez, who is absolute trash right now. He is not pitching like a top prospect and a guy that they expected to pitch well this season. He's 2-2 with a 6.91 and a 1.66 whip. Grant, you ready for this stat? Stat's going to play. 25 walks in 56 innings, 68 hits in 56 innings, 13 home runs in 56 innings for Mr. Grayson Rodriguez. And allegedly, Aaron Judge is back tonight. Allegedly. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, honestly, as far as him hitting the baseball. But I think it's going to give this team a little bit of a morale boost, especially with Garrett Cole. Now, when you look at Cole, he's 9-2. That's very impressive because the Yankees' offense is absolute dog water. So the fact that he's 9-2 and giving his team a chance to win every time he takes the mound, more than impressive.
It is. And of course, those are his decisions, though. The Yankees aren't just straight up 9-2, or are they? Or is that just his record?
No, well, he's had a few no decisions in there, but the fact that he's let's say he's made a lot of starts this year. Game log, he started a lot more in that one. Let's see, 6, 12 plus 5 is 17. Then you have 18, 19, 20, 21. So he's got like 11 no decisions in there, but he's still 9-2. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah. I was looking at this earlier and I was leaning towards the Orioles a little bit until Tanner informed me that this might be the day that Aaron Judge returns. I thought he was still on the 10-day IL, but apparently word on the street is he's going to be back out there. And to your point, I don't think I wouldn't be looking at him to make a huge impact on the offense because a guy who's I don't know. Do we call that a major injury? I feel like you have to call it a major injury, even though it's a toe. He's been out for a few months. You're not exactly expecting him to go back up there and be at his best, but it is the morale boost of having the best player on your franchise, your captain back in the lineup that could do something for the Yankees. So because of that, with Garrett Cole on the mound again, who has been so good against Grayson Rodriguez, who might have talent but hasn't been able to put it together yet, then I do think the Yankees here is a good pick.
I don't think that Judge is healthy by any means. I mean, there was rumors that he wasn't going to be back till the postseason if they got to the postseason. So the fact that he's back way ahead of schedule, I don't think he's healthy at all. I think it's just like a do or die time for the New York Yankees. They need to get going, and
it's desperation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, speaking of desperation, the other New York team, let's just talk about this real quick. How do you feel about the Mets making a trade with the Marlins? And the Marlins, who have been awful, they're like, what, 1-9, 2-9 coming out of the All-Star break?
Yeah. What'd they trade? David Robertson?
David Robertson, yeah.
Or like a couple of prospects.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good, I guess. No, it's not. It's indifferent. The prospects probably. I saw a tweet from Frank Fleming from Barstool, and he said that these guys won't even get up to AAA. So that was interesting. And Robertson isn't really necessarily moving the needle for the New York Mets, so he's a good guy that you can deal. And now if they dealt like Pete Alonso or Frankie Lindor, I'd say think a little more of it, but they're not going to do that. I saw an article on LinkedIn today. It was like Pete Alonso heating up just in time for the Mets playoff push.
Yeah, right. All right, let me get my first pick here. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins on the run line, -1.5 versus the Kansas City Royals. Now, I've had a lot of bad luck picking against the Royals, which is kind of impressive because the Royals have the worst spread record in baseball, so I don't know how I've been managing to get so unlucky. But I did bet against the Royals on the run line yesterday, and I won that bet, and I do think it's going to come through again with the Twins in this situation. A lot of the reason that I do like the Twins is the pitching matchup on the mound for Minnesota. It's going to be Sonny Gray. He's 4-4 with a 3.15 ERA and a 1.29 WHIP. Going against Brady Singer, who's not been good whatsoever, 6-8, 5.55 ERA, a 1.47 WHIP, consistently being putting his opponents in good opportunities, good positions to score the baseball. Meanwhile, the Twins, they're fourth in scoring coming out of the All-Star break. We know the Royals are close to the bottom of the league. The Twins are also top 7 in all of the major offensive categories, so batting average, OBP, OPS, slugging, they're all in the top 7. Royals in the bottom 10 for all of those. The Twins also have the third best bullpen ERA. The Royals is either worst or second worst. I know it's them and the Athletics right there at the bottom. So there's just way too many indicators telling me to go with the Twins. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And I'm doing it for 1-1. You can get the Twins run line for +100, which I think is really good value.
Yeah, I always struggle to bet against the Royals because I think it's always good to bet against them on the run line. And then the days I do it, they cover. So they went outright. They dominate. So I like the pick. Makes sense on paper. It's a good paper pick. But
yeah, that's all you can ask for sometimes. Like I said, as a matter of fact, I have it pulled up. Let me just tell you what they are. The Royals are 37-67 against the spread.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you. Like, I just seem to get unlucky when I bet against them, but more times than not, the run line does not pull through. So yeah, I like the Twins here.
Yeah, it's the long man's game. That's what betting is, all over time. This pick right here, I like the under of 8.5 in the Rays versus Astros game. Shane McClanahan on the bump for the Rays against Christian Javier of the Astros. Javier has not been great as of late, had a couple rough starts in his past 5, but he seemed to getting back in charge of his pitching. 7-2 with a 4.3 ERA, a WHIP right around 1.2. Almost a K per 9 there, and he's been pretty good with limiting the home run. So there's a lot of benefits to Christian Javier. Shane McClanahan on the mound for the Rays. He's the guy that's going to keep this game under the total against an inconsistent Astros offense. 11-1 with a 2.89 ERA, a WHIP right around 1.1. 112 strikeouts in 106 innings. He would be the Cy Young favorite, in my opinion, if he didn't get hurt. He's been that good. In the Rays offense, so it's been dog water. They were printing over tickets early in the season. Now they're printing under wins just because of how good their pitching still is and the fact that their offense was a 330 OBP prior to the All-Star break, and now they are a 290 team OBP, which is absolutely terrible. That is horrendous. That's like Royals numbers right there. I think the Royals have a better year-long OBP than the Rays did in the second half. I think they're like 297, 298. So under.
Their OBP for the year?
Yeah, OBP for the year is probably 296, 295.
I got it right here. I'll tell you in 1 sec. The Royals OBP for the year, that's slugging. All right, OBP for the year is 293.
Yeah, so like they're worse than the Royals in the second half.
It's really weird what's happened to the Rays too, because they weren't giving off signs. I mean, I thought they were playing maybe a little better than they were, but I didn't feel like they were drastically overachieving. So I mean, I feel like they're just on a really horrendous slump, and it started a couple of weeks before the All-Star break. So who knows when they're going to break out of it? Hopefully they do, just because you want to see more competitive games in the postseason. Yeah, I don't mind this pick at all. I don't think Christian Javier is that terrible, and Shane McClanahan's one of the most dominant pitchers in the league. Granted, he did have that back tightness which kept him out for a little bit, but he seems to be bouncing back from that. So I think the under is definitely a good call here.
2-8 in their past 10 games. Tampa Bay Rays not scoring at all.
No, it doesn't make sense though. Like, does it make sense to you? I don't feel like they're this bad.
I don't think they were as good as they were early in the season, and that's what gave them the boost. Like the entire time, the Orioles were like 3, 4, or 5 games back of the Rays, and they didn't have that massive winning streak. They just kept hanging around. So the fact that the Rays started the season, whatever, they didn't start the season like 20-0, did they? Am I dreaming that?
No, they started 13-0. They tied the record for the best start.
Yeah, so like they had that killer start, and then the Orioles just kept hanging around. I want to see, Grant, real quick. I want to see if the Orioles are officially the favorites in the division. I doubt they are.
Surely they are by now.
I don't know, because the Rays were plus 600 to win the World Series, which I get, because if they get in, they have a better chance. So the division, no, they're still minus 105. The Orioles are plus 135.
I mean, that's just, we talked about it before. That's just disrespectful. The Orioles aren't even, I don't think they're playing at their best either. I think the Orioles can get better.
I mean, they're pretty good. They're pretty good on the road. I mean, they probably get better. It's a young team, but like they've been just as good on the road as they've been at home, and that's what matters in the postseason.
Yep, absolutely. All right, my second pick here. I'm going to go with the Guardians money line versus the Chicago White Sox. Going to be a bullpen day for the Guardians, but they're not too bothered by that because they've got a top 7 bullpen judging by ERA in all of Major League Baseball. Touki Toussaint going for the White Sox. He's 0-3 with a 4.06 and a 1.32. Young pitcher who hasn't really found a whole bunch of success. I think every year he's been in the league, he's at a 1.3 or 1.4 for a whip. So this is basically what he is. We can talk about he's not getting a ton of innings to throw, but every time we've seen him, this is what he's been. I had the same pick yesterday, and the Guardians were able to win that game pretty easily. In fact, it wasn't even that really close. The Guardians severely outranked the White Sox in all of the major offensive categories. They also have a better record on the road than the White Sox do at home. And if this thing gets close at the end, like I already mentioned, the Guardians have a really good bullpen, whereas the White Sox, they're still missing Liam Hendricks. He's still recovering from an injury. So they're down one of their big stars there in the late game. I think this one just makes too much sense. I'm going to take the Guardians.
Yeah, I love it. I love the Guardians in the spot. It's a good pick out of you, Grant.
The White Sox are almost a must fade at this point.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're like down in the bottom of the World Series market with like the freaking Tigers and the Royals and the A's. Like they're right there with them.
Who is our dog water division? It was the Royals, Athletics, Tigers, White Sox, and the Rockies, was it?
Yeah, I think it was right. And I was like, don't put the White Sox in. And then I was like, they have too much talent. And then I'm like, yeah, put them in.
All right, Sarah, let's hear your last pick.
Under of 9. I'm playing the under today. It's under Friday. Happy under Friday. Diamondbacks, Mariners under 9. Total's a little too high here, in my opinion, because Logan Gilbert's been very good this season. 8-5, 3.80 ERA, whip right at 1, 116 strikeouts and 118 innings. He's limited the walks. He's limited the home runs. He's doing everything you can ask for to be an under pitcher. And the Mariners offense is also doing that too, because they had all these high expectations. They cannot hit the ball to save their lives consistently. When you look at the Diamondbacks, Tommy Henry's going for them. He's been pretty good as of late. 4 ERA, 1.37 whip, but getting better and better as the season goes on. The thing to look for Henry is he walks a lot of batters. He gives a lot of free passes, but 80 hits allowed in 83 innings. So he is a guy that has the ability to get outs there. Diamondbacks offense has cooled down a little bit. I think they're going to struggle against Gilbert. And then I don't see the Mariners hitting that much today because that's just not what they've done. Recently, they've had some good scoring outputs, a few 8 and 9 spots. But again, that's not been their norm throughout the year.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have been disappointing me in a few games recently. They have been scoring here and there, but I don't necessarily think of either one of these teams as offensive teams, although they have had their moments. I think this is going to be a pretty close game here. I wouldn't have a lean on who's going to win, but I do think the under is a better play than the over. So, yeah, don't mind this pick.
Love it. All right, Grant, wrap us up on Friday here.
Yep, wonderful Friday episode of Ride the Line. Guys, before I give you the final pick here, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on all the exciting content that Tanner and I have coming up. And you don't miss out on picks like this, the Oakland Athletics plus 1.5 versus the Colorado Rockies. Now, these teams, they like to lose a lot of games. They like to let their opponents score a lot of runs. So maybe you want to look at the over here, but the line's set pretty high. So I'm going to go with the Athletics plus 1.5. On the mound in this one, it's going to be JP Sears getting the start for Oakland. Was Sears the one you were talking about? You said he's basically Hall of Fame status in Oakland. Was that who you were talking about?
Good. Yeah, I think Sears is really good.
He's got a 4.19 ERA, but he has a 1.05 WHIP. So, I don't know about you. I consider WHIP the most indicative number. That's more important than ERA to me. 4.19. I mean, you can just be getting unlucky at that point. I mean, he does give up a lot of home runs, which would be the one thing you want to look at, especially since this game is in Coors Field. But he's going against Kyle Freeland, who's 4-10 with a 4.72 and a 1.45. Sears, if you take out the first month of the season, he's got an ERA of just about mid to low threes over the last 3 months. Whereas Freeland, he's just not that good. The WHIP is too high. He's been in the Rockies his whole career, so maybe it's a little hard to judge him for who he actually is because he plays so many games in Coors Field. But again, that WHIP is very high. It's basically a 1.4, 1.5 throughout his entire career. The Rockies' offensive numbers are a little bit better than the Athletics coming out of the All-Star break, but that's what you expect from them playing at altitude. The Athletics also have a better OBP than the Rockies do, which means they're giving themselves more opportunities to be in strong positions. Both of these teams have exactly 50 wins against the spread or 50 covers against the spread so far this season. However, the Athletics have been doing a better job as of late. Tanner, as you and I both know very well, they've actually been a profitable team over the last month or two against the spread. So you know what? I'm going to take the Athletics in this spot.
You know, I did the other night.
Did you take the Athletics?
Yeah, and they got shit on. Well, so this is what happened. I bet on the U.S. women's national team. By the way, those ladies are a joke. They're an absolute joke. They should quit the World Cup right now because they're terrible. They are terrible. So
you're supposed to be their number one motivator.
Nah, they suck. I did my job. They can't go out and do their job. I don't know what to say. So I had $100 on them to win their game against the Netherlands. I saw right away they weren't winning that game. Everyone got all excited. I was at some bar watching it, some like soccer bar, and all these people are like, "Oh, the U.S. are coming back when they score." I'm like, "There's not a chance they win this game." So, anyways, I cash out for like $50. And I say, you know what? What the hell? I'm gonna throw on the Oakland Athletics like plus 300 tonight against forget who they were playing. It was their last series or last week. Let me see who it was.
Wait, when was this? Sorry.
It was like the Netherlands game. So it was Tuesday night. Oh, Giants.
Yeah, the Giants.
So, yeah, 2-game series against Giants. They lost 2-1 the night before. I'm like, what the hell? Anything can happen in baseball, right? The last time I bet the Oakland A's money line, they actually won. They had a home run off freaking one of the Blue Jays guys to win. One of their Romano. They had a home. Romano hadn't given up any home runs all season. They get in the box, hit a home run right away, and they win the game. So I was like super pumped about that. I'm like, let's throw it on them. So they freaking just get shit on, even worse than the U.S. national team. So that was my night.
Well, your bad experience, your trauma aside, the Athletics are going to cover the run line tonight, and they're going to make us some money here on Ride the Line. That's my guarantee. The Athletics are going to get it done tonight.
Not guarantee, Grant. You don't guarantee things in sports, but that's a risk.
No, you don't. It's not a guarantee, guys. It's not a guarantee. You can't guarantee anything.
Anyways, that was a Friday edition of Ride the Line. If you don't subscribe to the channel, leave, get out, don't come back if you can't click a button.
Yep. If you can't click a button, like I said, Tanner and I, like we have both said, we're here damn near every day of the week, at least 3 times a week. We're giving out picks all the time. We've been making a lot of money. We've been winning these bets for you. We're doing our job. You guys do your job. Hit that subscribe button.
It's not rocket science. It's never been rocket science. We'll be back Monday. We have preseason football starting Wednesday, I think.
I think so. Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there.
Thursday. We'll be betting the preseason. I will because I can't take it I can't take this baseball shit anymore. So I'll be betting the preseason. We'll talk about that on Ride the Line. We'll break it all down. We'll make it happen. We're the freaking kings of the freaking YouTube, and we're going to show you what it's like to ride all over the preseason in the NFL. So with that being said, Grant, you can take us off on this lovely Friday.
This was a wonderful Friday, and this was a wonderful episode of Ride the Line. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment, let us know what your favorite picks of the day are. Enjoy your weekend, and we will be back for a new episode of Ride the Line.